I bought this little combine 16 years ago and brought it home. I'd never driven a combine, had no real idea what I was getting into or how complex this machine actually is. But the most annoying complex problem I ever had on this machine was a result of a leak in that hose right there where it rubs up against this elevator right here. You have to have enough slack in the hose so that when you open this to be able to get to the hydraulic fluid reservoir for checking it, refilling it, or whatever, that you can get it open. So with that amount of slack, when you close this, you can see that hose where it's going to rub right here. And what had happened over the years, that hose rubbing at that point right there wore a hole in it, and it actually started to suck air into the system. The hydraulics got sick, real sick. The air in the system caused the raising and lowering of the head to be a jerky motion in action. It caused the steering to act really strange, and I just didn't find this leak right off. So I started reading about how to control the raising and lowering of the head, and went and found that adjustment and adjusted it and got on through the rest of that season. But this thing eventually started sucking so much air into it that it literally pushed the hydraulic fluid out of the top of the reservoir. And at that point in time I said, whoa, something really strange going on here. Got to figure this out. So that's when I got down in here and found this hose right here with that small hole in it right at that point, and replaced the hose, which was the thing that solved the problem. But once I got all the air out of the system and got fluid back in it, I found out that I had adjusted the raising and lowering of the platform to the point that it literally dropped itself to the ground when you wanted to lower it, and that wasn't good at all, because that thing coming down that fast, if you stopped lowering it, it jerked it, and I was like going to break it off. But today I remembered that that needs to be readjusted back to a smooth lowering. Did some more reading about that adjustment, and it's there for the difference in weight between a corn head and a grain head. I don't have a corn head, so I don't even need to worry about having to adjust between those two. But I'm going to crank the combine, get it cranked up, and go up in the cab and open up the access panel and get to that adjustment and get it straightened out today. We're probably 2.5, maybe 3 weeks away from cutting some beans. Trying to get all these little things taken care of before I go out there and start cutting. So might as well go up in the cab and start getting towards that. Okay, right up here in the door on the side towards the motor, I've got myself wedged in here, and I've already got the panel cover plate off, and right down there is where the controls are. Now still a little soybean dust down there, so you might not be able to see much, but it's the front control that I want to adjust, and I remember turning that out about a turn, so I need to screw that one in about a turn. So let's see here, that'd be right there, that'd be quarter turn, half turn, 3/4 turn, and we'll stop right there and see what we got. Alright, now I want to get this cover panel back on here, because you crank this combine, it blow dust all over the place. That ain't right, and it hooks down under there like that. Alright, I gotta put the camera down, but let's see what that'll show you. But yeah, there's the panel. So let me get this put back together, crank this combine, and See if I've got that problem resolved about the head slamming back down. Okay, cranking the combine went about like I thought it would go. Yep, battery charger. Battery in this thing's 4 or 5 years old. I'd have to go look at my records to be sure. But that's about where we're at on the charge of it. So I'm going to set it on 10 amp charge. Probably let it go about 10 minutes. And maybe we'll be cranking it up next time. I think I'll go get a cup of coffee. We'll be back shortly. Well, it's idling about 800 RPM. It's still a cold motor. I've always had to get the RPM up on this motor to about 1700 before I've got any solid hydraulics on lifting this head. So after it took about 25 minutes on the battery charger to get enough electricity in that battery to crank this thing. It's a 1976 year model diesel with no glow plugs on it, and it's about 68 degrees outside. So anyhow, let's get the RPMs up and see if my adjustment did me any good on the raising and lowering of this head. Cool, the lights work. Alright, let's go up. That's smooth, that's about the right speed. Pretty good. Alright, let's pretend like I've come up on an anthill and need to get over it. That's pretty fast. Now I want to get back down to my beams. That's not too bad a bounce. I think that's going to be the adjustment I want to go with. All right. Okay, fun in the combine. Getting it cranked, that's always fun when you got a poor battery. Yeah, I need to replace this battery. Maybe I could limp through this year and replace it next year. But one of the things that I worked on was getting this, you can't see it, should have brought the flashlight. Oh well, I'll make another video and show you that later. But I got me a new gear shift boot. I'm kind of proud of it. It's all sealed up. I'm not going to have any dust coming through there this year. And let's see, for grins and giggles. Alright, when I'm cutting, I need to be able to turn around like that to show the beans coming into the hopper. It's going to be the first time I ever tried to make videos in this combine, but I think I'll be able to do it. Oh well, that's all for now. Still got no beans ready to cut, so thanks for watching.